Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's been a long div since I last uploaded my video. I'm not sure how many audience is watching, but still, welcome back. We started summarizing the books, The Psychology of Money. We did up to 4 chapters, and we should start today the chapter 5th, which is called Getting Wealthy versus Staying Wealthy. I struggled a lot with summarizing this chapter in particular because most of us we don't call ourselves wealthy. Wealthy is anyway big word. We don't call ourselves comfortable or rich also because we are not uh, understood what it is to be rich and how when we call a person rich, like when they get this amount of money as a salary, or when they get a car, or when they get a house, we don't know, and we are not comfortable telling that openly also. And also when I was studying this chapter, I struggled it summarizing also because these whatever they are calling staying wealthy, those rules somewhere it is not applicable for us. Like I felt like that because a lot of common people in India particularly, we survive salary to salary. Okay, we get salary this month and we divide it into particular EMIs, sending it to family, or we got a loan and we are paying it back, or we got a bike and we are paying the EMI for that. So we actually most of the Indians live salary to salary. We don't need any big data or report to understand this, or to have a proof of this. We know this, we see people around us. You see how many friends are having a bike on EMI, or having EMI for something else, or for a marriage loan. We live on salary basis. So when I was reading, like, how do I tell audience that whatever the chapter or whatever the points he is discussing, how does it relate to us common people, like what we can learn from this particular chapter. So I thought, let's divide it anyway, and try and relate whatever he is saying, at least in the salary we are getting, or this little saving that we are trying to do, how do we apply those points that he is saying to us. So in the initial para only, whatever we have a confusion right now, right, whether we are rich or comfortable, or like we are just living on salary basis, he says getting money is one thing and keeping it together, like keeping it with you, is another thing, even when you are not wealthy. Meaning, like, even when you are living on salary to salary basis, you are getting a x amount of money that you are getting anyway, that you are working hard and you are getting it, that salary is credited to your account. But how do you say, like, how do you spend it, how do you uh, save anything that you can with the salary that you got? So that is what he is putting in the first line. Even when you are not wealthy, you don't have to be wealthy, you don't have to be have like big amount with you to try and save. Again, whatever we discussed in the previous 4 chapters, it doesn't matter how much you get, it doesn't matter whether you get 10 lakh or 1 lakh. If you can save something on 1 lakh, you can save something on 10 lakh also. So that is the mentality that we should go and we should start with. Otherwise, like, if you feel like, okay, I don't have that much money only, okay, I'm not saying this much, why should I learn about finance or money or investing, then you are not able to learn it in 10 lakh also. So don't have that mentality of like, only I have this much, I don't have to study, don't have to understand about money. So one simple thing he tells in the initial some 2-3 paras is, the only way to be like wealthy is to have some doubt, like the paranoia and the word frugality he uses. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it correctly. It's paranoia, one thing, and the other one is frugality. So the frugality one means, in simple words, having some constraint on spending. Like, spend only as much you need, not spending like seeing others and spending just like they are spending. I also want to spend. We have discussed this also, like the whole system is, and the whole industry, advertisement industry is built on that. Like they work on your impulses. They show you an ad and you feel like you get an urge to spend or buy this or that. That is how it is built. But you have to go against that. You have to go against your instinct of buying it, spending only as much you need for survival. Sometimes when you are down, when you actually need, you spend it. That's okay, but not how they want you to spend. So that's one point, which is fragility, spending only on what you need. And second is paranoia. What does paranoia means? Say you got some salary this month, you got a bonus. Say November, you have like every big companies, tech companies have cycles where they give you out bonuses. When you get that, you're spending every month salary. You have constraint on that, you have EMIs and all of that. Say you got 2 cycles, you are getting bonus. So if you can survive 10 months on the basic salary, then the 2 bonuses that you get, you can save them some or the other way. You can make the space for those 2 bonuses to go in your other investment or savings or FD, whichever you feel. You learn about everything, and whichever you feel like you can do, like you can invest or say whatever you like, you can do with those 2 bonuses. Because if you have the mindset of, okay, I'm getting a bonus, I have 10 months which I'm not getting, or I'm not doing anything special. If I'm getting 2 bonuses, I can spend anywhere, anything that I want. If you are having that mentality of like I can do whatever I want, then it's a issue, because you don't know what happens. Say you something happens and you need urgent money, then you are, again there are traps of loan you get, you ask for a friend, but you have to repay also them, right? So paranoia is having some kind of doubt, having something like, okay, something might happen, you don't know what happens. Some bad thing always happens. It's not like we are just living on good things, right? Something happens, something or the others happen. That time you have some of the money or something that you can back, like you can have that with you. So those are the 2 things that he tells: paranoia and fragility. If he is telling, if I had to summarize full thing, like staying wealthy, what it needs to be, what is the one thing that is needed to stay wealthy. We'll not go with the word wealthy, we'll go with like just living comfortably without getting into the trap of loans, EMI and all those things. What is it, one thing that it is needed? He calls it as survival. What does it mean? We are living day to day and monthly to monthly. Most of Indians, 99% of Indians, will live on salary to salary anyway, so we survive on that. So he's telling that the main thing to staying afloat or living comfortable with whatever you have is survival. What does it mean is thinking that something might happen and having a accountable, like I need to only spend on the things that I need and I can sometimes celebrate. That tells that whatever you get, the remaining amount, you keep it somewhere, you save it or invest it, so that you can survive better. Say you lose a job, you lost a job, everybody loses. If not you got into some bad luck or you don't have talent, no, sometime it happens, bad thing happen. That time you have a backup, so you can survive another 2-3 months until you get a new job or something, that bad phase passes. So that is what survival means. You have a plan, you have something that you can back up, so you can survive 2-3 months or 2 months or 3 months till you get something new, till that phase passes. So that is what he calls survival. So whenever you are earning money or you are doing job or you are doing business, you take risk. When you are you are doing one job and you want a better salary or something, you take risk, you give interviews and you try out new companies in search of better opportunities, and you take risk. So survival or staying comfortable and saving that money is opposite of whatever you do for earning money. Not taking too many risks, not spending the recklessly, that is what survival requires. Running away from all the impulses, instinct, all that thing, and saving whatever you can so that you survive better. So every person has same system or whatever the society we call. So everybody suffers something might happen. Like you got a salary of say 1 lakh and you are working, like you are living with that, so okay, that is good thing. But what if something happens for everybody? So what he is saying is, you cannot trust whatever the past has happened, and you are not thinking like the future will also be like this. No, you cannot have that mentality. You can enjoy, it is not like you cannot enjoy what we have right now, but still having some kind of doubt, some kind of thinking that something bad might happen. Just because something good is happening continuously from past doesn't mean the bad will not happen in the future. I know it sounds like a depressing thing, but just accounting everything that might happen will prepare you for a better future. That's what he is telling. Why he's I just call it a depressing thing, but he is telling why it is important is, say we talked about compounding and compounding in the previous chapters. That is what he is telling. First reason why we have to have a survival mentality is, if you are saying some amount, say you are investing 2k per month right now only because you have low salary or something, if you allow it to compound only, then after 10 years 15 years, if you survive till that, then only it will give you some amount of fruit back. Like some, if you are investing 2k, after 15 years it might give you some huge amount. If you only invest it in continuous manner, right? If you just invest it for 2-3 years, then you don't see the whatever the investment you return it might have got, and you will not see because you couldn't do it continuously. That's why surviving is important more than whatever the opposite of it, just spending whatever however you want. That is not required. The other thing is, whenever you are taking risk, you think that this risk is worth of that. You get out of survival and you take some big risk. You say you take 10 lakh of big amount of money and you put it in a business thinking that it will give you some return, something, and it does return, then it is okay to get out of survival mentality and take risk. But it's not always the case. When you put 10 lakh, you don't know whether it will give you that much return whatever you are expecting, right? We have understood that the compounding works. It's like a tree. You put it, you in 1 year you don't see the result, in 10 year you might see, and in 15 year you might see. That's why you have to play the long game, to wait till you get the returns whatever you have invested. I'm not saying about like you are investing 1 lakh 2 lakh like a big trader or somebody. No, whatever the amount you can save. Like if you are saving in your savings account also, if you put 2k per month, at the end of 1 year it's 24k. After 10 years it is 2.4 lakh. If you add some interest also, you don't see that today it is just 2k, but at the end of 10 year when you need it the most, it will come to your help. So applying the survival mindset to the real world, he is putting out three points. How do you survive? How do the survival mentality work? How do we, like, whatever we earn, how much, like how can we save it and prepare for a better future? Okay, whatever we discussed till now, that is the first point. What he is saying that, okay, I put a 10 lakh in a business, and I'm taking a big risk of putting this much amount and thinking that this big business will grow into exponential growth, and I get for 10 lakh I get 50 lakh return or 1 lakh 1 crore return. That is a big risk that you can do when you have enormous corpus, like amount you have already in bank, and this 1 lakh or 10 lakh doesn't mean that much to you. Then that is okay. Like some people do that, they like the side business, they try, and if it works fine, if it doesn't, that is also fine for them. But when you are living on tight budget or salary to salary, and you have children to send it to school and college, that I mean when you are taking that risk, that is not a valid risk unless or until you have all the plans in the planes, all the plan in the place to all the to uh, counter whatever the odds or something might happen, and you have a plan for counter that. That is the only case that you can survive. So what he is saying in the first point for survival mentality is, instead of taking big risk, I want to stay in the long run. I want to save small amounts, and I want to invest in small amount, and I want to see the returns compounding after few years, 10, 15, 30. I want to wait. I want to play this game until that time. Not like I have some 1 lakh savings and I'll put into a big risk and then I want to take it out. So that's not what he's advising here. Second plan is planning. We all do, right? We want to okay, we got this much salary, we want to save this and invest this, I want to buy a car, I have this much of EMI. So all we do is plan. But what he's saying is, planning on the plan to fail. You have to have a backup plan for the plan to go wrong. That is what he's saying. Plan all the plans to go always wrong. Nothing like whatever you thought and it will not happen, because you are not the single player in the game. We have discussed it. You are playing against all this billion people around here. Like, you are not the single player in this game. This is a game of all the people. So whatever you plan, but still it might go wrong, because some people might decide something else, right? It's not entirely your game. That is why whatever the plan you have to have a backup plan for that. That is the important part of the plan. Because whenever, like, say we have to go from one to A to B point, we are going, but there are potholes, there are something in the on the way. We have to cross all that and go to the destination, right? So have a plan and count the number of things that can go wrong, and have a backup plan for each of this. Say example, I have a salary of 50k and I want to buy a bike or car, whatever you want at that time. Say out of 50,000 you are paying 10 or 20k for EMI for that car. When I say EMI, you are saying, like, you might think why she is saying EMI so many times. You can see the data on the Indian, like, current economy, and you can see how many things people are buying just on EMI. That is how we are surviving. So EMI I am saying because we cannot fully down payment and get the thing that we have wanted in this economy right now. So out of 50k salary, if you are spending 20k on EMI and you have 30k, and you think, okay, everything will go nice only till 3 years at least if you buy a car. That's not the case. No, something might go wrong, and you cannot pay 20k, and then if you default two EMIs, then the bank will come to your home. So how do you manage? Like, say something might go wrong and you have 3 months, you don't know how will pay. So you have to have 60k backup plan. You have to have 60k with you so that you can pay that guy. So till you get a job back or something, whatever thing happened wrong. So you have to have all the things get checked. It's not for bad luck. It's not like you are planning to fail. No. Nobody plans for fail. Something might go wrong because other people are also playing in your field. So that is the important part, which is planning on the thing to plan. Like, the plan might fail, and if you have a plan for that. So that he calls is a margin of safety. You know something might happen and you have a safe house for that. Okay, I can conquer this. Okay, I can take care of this. So the more margin of safety you create for whatever the plan, whatever the dream of you have, the more outcome will be better, right? The better outcome, because you have all the odds, you know what something, the okay, if this goes wrong, I have this, so that time the output will be better. You don't go into crashing all of a sudden. Third is barbelled personality. He is calling it as a barbell personality. Being optimistic about the future, but being a little paranoid that something might go wrong. That is your personality he's calling. Whatever we discussed till now, no, that is the thing. You know, okay, everything will go good only, but what if it doesn't go? That is the question. So you have a mindset. Okay, I hope, I have a belief that it will go nice only, but what if it doesn't go? So you have to maintain the mindset of okay, having this mentality also and having this mentality also, and balancing it out, because you have to. If you don't see a future, okay, traveling, how you have to, okay, you are traveling to, you are going for a trip, you have to have all the things with you. Okay, this might go wrong, and this I have in a backup. So that is what he is telling. Be optimistic, be thinking that okay, it goes well, but have a plan, have a personality, have a mentality that I have a backup if it doesn't go well, whatever the way I want it. So it having a mindset of paranoid and optimistic, and not seeing everything as black and white. It, the real world doesn't work like that. It's not like entirely wrong, and it's not like entirely right. We all live in somewhere middle, right? Don't see everything as black and white. Have the mentality of okay, fear, optimistic, mix it up, and find a plan, find your place, find a safety of margin, see the nuances, so small details what you are missing, and see that place and counter all those things. Find a plan that suits all these things. Check that whether okay, okay, I got everything in the place, and then do whatever you like plan on doing, uh, whatever you want. So that is what he is ending it with. So don't think it as black or white, and have some details, nuances. Don't miss those things. That is what causes most of us go in blind mode and get into the trouble, right? So that is the thing. I try to summarize as much as I can to relate to us common people. And yeah, my all the time I tell the goal is to make you go and read that book and the chapter, so whenever you read it you understand better. I am summarizing all the important points, but it's better to go and read. I hope you got something from this video. Thank you so much. We'll see you again in the next chapter. Thank you.